I would like to start asking everyone the following question. Who are you? When you answer this question, you will either answer according to who you really are in this exact moment or thinking about the person you want to be. 4 years ago, I would answer truthfully, like many of you, because the person I was not the person I wanted to be. This is how I would honestly describe myself 4 years ago. I saw the school as an obligation and not as an opportunity. I procrastinated a lot, especially with the schoolwork. I had goals, but I didn't spend any time working for them. Even though I never failed the subject, I only cared about passing. I had a FIFA addiction. I played more than 700 matches only in FIFA 2016. However, not everything was bad. I was very successful in sports, I spent a lot of time with my family and friends, and most importantly, I was happy. Around the time I was on vacation with my family, we were walking around when suddenly my dad started running to hug a man in a wheelchair. I was so confused because I didn't know who this guy was. But then we went for dinner and I got to meet him. This is him, Enrique Madriñán. He is so funny and optimistic. After spending a couple of hours with him, I was transformed by his personality. It was incredible. It was an experience that I will never forget. I truly admire him because after the accident, he became the person that he wanted to be. So then I asked myself, why should I wait for a tragedy in order to change? This meeting, combined with poor results in middle school and being frustrated with not achieving my goals, made me realize that I needed change in my life. Well, since I was a kid, I was very ambitious, but I had nothing to show for it. And deep inside, I knew that if I continue with my lifestyle and habits, I wasn't going to be successful. From my point of view, success means different things to different people. And what it means to you might be different to what it means to me. Or what it means to a primary kid who is working on finishing his homework. Or perhaps a scientist who is working on finding a cure for cancer, or an entrepreneur who wants to build a unicorn company. Well, at that moment of my life, I was not even close to what I define as success. It was then when I realized I wanted to change in order to achieve my fullest potential. It sounds easy, but it isn't. This type of radical change does not happen overnight, or at least not in my case. I had to change my attitude, my habits, and my identity. Let's start with the attitude. I first identified why my attitude was not the best, and it had to do a lot with me complaining about everything. Understanding the root of this problem helped me find the solution. It's not difficult to realize that in today's society we complain about everything. First, we complain about the weather, then we complain about traffic, and then we complain about work, and so on. And you know what's the worst thing? That if we're not complaining about something, then something is wrong. The best solution to stop complaining about everything is to start paying more attention to the positive and leave the negative apart. Start valuing more what you actually have and stop thinking about what you don't have. Many would say that they have heard this 1,000,000 times, but when you actually apply it to your life, it makes a huge difference and it can completely change your attitude towards many situations. The second reason why my attitude was not the best is the hell effect cycle. It occurs when you have a problem and your problem gets worse because of thinking about the problem itself. For example, you have the problem of procrastination. You have procrastinated for an entire day, so you feel angry and stressed. Then you have two problems and you end up feeling guilty for those two problems, and it goes on and on. The best solution to the hell effect cycle is to start taking action instead of just taking initiative. Taking action and taking initiative sound very similar, but are two different things. Taking initiative is all about planning and starting to do something, yet not necessarily finishing. Taking action, on the other hand, is the type of behavior that will deliver an outcome. This remembers me to a friend who has amazing ideas and projects in mind, but he never takes action. As a result, none of his amazing ideas have become a reality. Evidently, attitude is highly important in order to achieve our fullest potential. It's worth mentioning, when I realized I wanted to change, I began to believe that skills, talent, experience, and knowledge were the most important things in order to be successful. But then, as Juan Bautista, an expert on topic, says, while all those add up, attitude multiplies. It does not matter all the experience, knowledge, skills, talent you have if your attitude is going to be zero. Besides changing my attitude, I worked extremely hard on changing my habits. Recently, I read the book Atomic Habits by James Clear, which helped me clarify how essential is building habits in our lives. Many people fail when building habits because they don't understand how the process actually works. This graph helped me clarify why so many people fail. We often expect progress to be linear, but that's not how it works. It's actually exponential, and it takes a while to see results. Most people fail in the area in between the two lines, the valley of disappointment. Getting out of the valley of disappointment, it's not easy. I'm not gonna lie. When I decided I wanted to quit FIFA, I told myself I wasn't going to play anymore, but then, in the weekend, I was playing nonstop. Or this remembers me to one of my friends that every single morning she tells me she's going to start diet because every single afternoon she's eating a burger. The best way to getting out of the valley of disappointment is improving 1% every day. A single decision or mistake is easy to dismiss, but when we repeat 1% errors over the span of years, eventually leads to toxic results. Thinking about it this way, imagine you're flying from Los Angeles to New York City, and the pilot adjusts the heading just by 3.5 degrees. You would end up in Washington instead of New York City. Similarly, a small change in our habits can guide your life to a completely different destination. Now the big question, how to build a habit. Before answering this question, the problem with habits is their habits are obstacle to achieve what you really want. For instance, dieting is an obstacle to getting fit. Meditation is an obstacle to feeling calm. You don't want the habit itself, you want the outcome the habit delivers. That being said, I recommend to make this obstacle as easy as possible. For this, you can make a plan, set a time and location. All this will enhance the probability that the behavior will be repeated. Or you can design your environment. A small shift in what you see can lead to a big difference in what you do. Environment is highly important because it's how we commonly develop habits and routines. And develop skills of self-control. This is basically the opposite. Instead of making the habit and the obstacle easy, make it difficult. So if you have a problem because you cannot get any work done because of using your phone, hide it until you get your work done. In order to successfully change my attitude and habits, I changed my identity. These are the 3 layers of behavior change: outcomes, the goals, process, the habits, and identity. We're often told that we should first set an outcome, then do a process to achieve that specific outcome, and finally and eventually changing our identity. This is not wrong. However, I recommend to first change your identity, then do a process for then achieving a specific outcome. The problem in this process is that people tend to be obsessed with the result and not with the process. In the end, what I have been explaining along this talk is just a method where you change your attitude, your habits, and your identity. After implementing this simple method in my life, this is who I am today. I take advantage of every opportunity the school offers. I went from being a mediocre student to a highly achieving student. I work hard on building habits and don't falling into the valley. I'm not so addicted to FIFA anymore, and I had the opportunity to go on exchange to South Africa. I still do a lot of sports. I spend a lot of time with my family and friends, and most importantly, I am happy. However, Not everything is perfect. I still struggle with many things every single day. But every day I work harder in order to achieve my fullest potential. Because I have learned that practice doesn't make perfect. Practice makes progress. Thank you.